Hello, we're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have Kelly Kotanidis with us. She is going to talk to us today about how to fund long-term travel with an online business. Many of you will know Kelly, who had Fearless Homeschool for quite a long time and has been an incredible voice in the homeschool space for a long time. And so I'm going to stop fumbling my words after a whole day of being online. And pulled it over to you. Thank you for being with us, Kelly.
No, thank you so much for having me back. It was great. It was great last year, so I'm glad to be back again.
Yay.
And yeah, completely acceptable by this time of the night when you're running a summit to just be, my brain had always started to shut down by this time.
Brain words too difficult. Well, I'm going to head off into the background and you're going to tell me when you want slides and when not, and you won't be able to hear me or see me unless you need me. But enjoy, everyone. You're in for a treat. This is such important information, right? If we want to travel and long term, we need to fund it somehow, and not many employers are open to this amount of flexibility. So let's learn from someone who has done this for themselves. You're in very good hands. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. So, hey everyone, and welcome. So obviously you're here because you'd like to travel, probably in a more long-term ongoing way, and you're not quite sure how you're going to fund it, because that's most people's biggest problem, right? Is like, how we're going to pay for this thing. So as Annalise said, I'm Kelly. I now have a business called Business in Your Backpack. And in this workshop, I'm going to talk about how we've funded family travel for over 6 years. And most of that time, we've done that with all 5 of our children. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to fund us, go through the features I think your business must have to suit travel, and also what you should avoid doing because it doesn't suit travel at all. And if after this you're interested in starting your own online business, I have a free course that will help you choose your perfect business topic. It's called the Business Idea Blitz. It is in the associated workbook with the workshop. And yeah, so please go and sign up if you are interested. And if you have any questions about the session, you're always welcome to email me or ask in the summit group if you're watching this after it has gone live. And if you are here live, hi, and feel free to drop whatever comments you have in the comment box. I love doing Q&As at the end. I'm pretty happy to answer anything and everything you can think about. It doesn't have to be related specifically to the workshop topic. So yeah, go for it. In relation to signing up and everything, I'm also testing a Start a Business course with a wonderful group of people right now. I will hopefully be launching that in January or February. So if your New Year's resolution involves starting an online business and quitting your job, becoming a digital nomad, any of that kind of stuff, please sign up to the waitlist or the Business Idea Blitz, and you will find out exactly when it's ready. All right, so can we please get cracking with those slides, Annalise, when you're ready? And yeah, there we go. So hopefully we get through this session all right tonight. We've had big storms here. Our power keeps going out. So if I disappear suddenly, that's why. Hopefully you can't hear my rain or my frogs. All right. So tonight, as I said, I'm talking about how to fund a long-term travel with an online business. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the beautiful land that I'm currently on today, and they're the Yaegl people of the Yaegl Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging, and to celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal people and their ongoing culture and connection to the land and the waters of Australia, and also to the rest of the world. All right, so this here is how I funded most of our travel. So I used to run an online business called Fearless Homeschool. I started that kind of at the end of 2015, at the very end. And I had digital courses and workshops for homeschooling parents. And I also ran the yearly Australian Homeschooling Summit, and that was all online as well. So between my courses and my summits and some affiliate income, and also participating in other people's summits and bundles a couple of times per year, I earned a full-time wage on very part-time hours from around 2019 to 2023. So I sold the business at the end of last year because I was very, very tired of talking about homeschooling, and my kids are starting to age out now, so I'm moving out of that scene. And I've now started Business in Your Backpack. So that is teaching this online business stuff to people like yourselves who don't fit a normal job, because earning money in such a relatively easy and flexible way is really, really addictive. So I don't think I'll ever go back to relying on hourly wage work now. So at the moment, we're not traveling. We did travel we just finished up a 2-year stint of travel in May. We've settled down for a while now because my teen boys are not interested in travel. They really wanted and needed a bit of stability. So, you know, if you're listening and you have younger kids, get into it now while you can, because all of my kids, when they've hit their teens, they've wanted to settle down and get jobs and, you know, have a regular social group and all that kind of stuff, which is fair enough. But even when you're at home, having an online business still gives you so much freedom. So I'm working 3 days a week at the moment, but it's only because I found a really, really awesome job. I wasn't going to work here at all until I kind of fell into it. It also meant that I could walk into the interview and go, well, I'm not working full time, even though this is a full-time job. So, you know, and they made that 3 days a week for me. And it's a really awesome feeling to just be able to go into a job interview and really not care whether you get it or not, because your housing and food are not solely reliant on it. And for my husband too, like, you know, he hasn't worked a great deal over the past few years. He does a lot of the house stuff. He has all this farming gear at the moment, you know, and he just works a couple of casual shifts a week because he likes to earn when he has the chance. So we definitely love that freedom part of it. Now, as well as business in your backpack, I also have a tie-dye site called Dye DIY. So that was something I kind of started in about 2012 and went, you know, I'm going to do YouTube monetization and experiment with all these different things. So I haven't put anything up there now for like 2.5 years, but it still makes a bit of income right now from affiliate links and ads. It's fairly consistent each month, but you know, it's not something that we're going to be able to retire on or anything like that. But it's good to see it can be done. So before I started online business, we love to travel. We have always loved to travel, and we had done sun traveling with the family. So this is my kids at Uluru around 2011, but we had used savings to do it. And that meant that it wasn't sustainable. And it definitely wasn't as fun and carefree as it could have been, because, you know, we would look at the savings going down and go, oh, you know, maybe should we go and do a reef trip? Like, it's really expensive. And that's heaps of savings. And at the time we had no qualifications. So saving that money was pretty hard. Now, yeah, so it just took away from the general enjoyment of it all. Like, it just blows my mind that people can travel with credit cards and get into debt to travel. Like, I just couldn't do that. I'm not relaxed at all like that about money. I need to be comfortable. So before we went traveling, I had a business making cloth nappies and tie-dyeing clothes, and I'd done that since 2007. So, you know, that was online. I used to sell a lot of stuff online, but it also involved me actually making stuff. So that's me to market. But when we went traveling, I didn't make any money because I couldn't tie-dye stuff and I couldn't really sew while we were in a tent with a box trailer. And so when I discovered people making online courses and products in around 2012, like, I was hooked. I thought, I have to do that. But my husband was very skeptical. He thought it was all a scam. So remember, this was 2012. This was not a common thing back then. And at the time I was homeschooling 5 children under 8. So I was pretty busy anyway. But I kept reading about it. And by the end of 2015, I was fed up. So I was studying to be a nurse then, so I could actually be employable, but I already knew that I couldn't work full-time in the industry because I would burn out in like 3 weeks. So, huge compliments to anyone who can nurse full-time for any length of time. Like, it just exhausts me. So I bought a domain name at the end of 2015, Christmas Day 2015 actually, and I fumbled my way into my online business because, like, you look at how bad that website header is. I put so much effort into it and I look at it now and it's embarrassing, but it worked. And you really can't improve if you don't start. So for the first couple of years, I didn't make much money because I was working it out as I went along, and I was not spending very much time on it because I still had those 5 children to homeschool. But I was learning really, really important skills that still come in really useful. So I look at that period as kind of like my degree in online business. And then if you skip to 2018, we went to Europe for 8 months as a family of 7. So the business was making some money, but we were still using some savings. And I never, ever wanted to leave Europe. Like, I was so excited to be there. It was our first trip overseas and we just loved it. And so I was really motivated to fix the income problem. So at the time I'd run a couple of summits that had worked, but they hadn't worked well enough. You know, I was just kind of scraping by basically. So I rejigged the summits. I completely overhauled the setup. I went against the common advice because I knew what my audience wanted, and I did some really scary things. Like, I made them paid tickets only, and I pitched to sponsors, And I ended up making $30,000 in less than 3 months. So if you have a look over there at that week in the middle, like I made over $6,000 in 1 week. And so, and this was from like a $25 summit. So it was awesome. And I nearly died of shock. My skeptical husband nearly died of shock, but I did go on to replicate the success of that summit 5 years in a row. And I made over $30,000 profit. So that's not revenue, that's profit after costs. Because the costs are really quite low for online business. And that was just from ticket sales and sponsorships every single year. All right, can I please have the slides off now, Annalise? Thank you. So yeah, like the summit was obviously built on an existing base. I had been around being helpful for a couple of years. I had a decent email list. It didn't come out of nowhere, but it did take me knowing my audience and working out something that people would pay me for without hesitation before I could turn all that into a good income. And if you hang around online much and with any homeschool bloggers, like they will all tell you that you can't make money off homeschoolers. So, don't believe them. If you can work out what people will pay for, you can make money from it. So the last 5 months of that 8 months in Europe was completely financially stress-free. We got home with more money than we left with, and I was able to build on that summit to sell more of my courses. So, the ongoing income increased a lot. I sold more courses. I bundled the summits. I spent more time working on my SEO for more passive income. And so I increased my income to a sustainable wage for the rest of the year, and then ran that big successful summit each year. And, did all sorts of things to create a full-time income from very part-time work. And now I know those skills, and I've learned so much along the way that I can recreate it in another area, because when you have the skills, you can do it with most topics. The base skills are exactly the same. So that's how I could build the tie-dye website. That's how I'm building the business website now. Those base level skills and knowledge are really, really transferable to pretty much any topic. So lots of people just build up multiple sites and businesses, especially if you get bored doing the same thing all the time. That's a good idea. So I'm definitely not ever going to tell you that it was easy or quick, or, you can make $1 million with this few quick hacks, but it is really possible to create a decent income online that will allow you to travel full time. And that's without working huge hours or having lots of appointment or lives calls or anything like that, because you still want to enjoy your travel and enjoy your life, and, not be in the south of France and still working 80 hours a week, because there is no need for that. So it is quite hard to find information about it though, because if you look up how to make money while traveling, it's full of pyramid schemes or just really weird, like scammy advice. So can I please have my slides on again, Annalise? Need a drink. Okay, perfect. So while I was researching for this workshop, I found this article. I read through it, and it's this couple, and they're traveling with their children and they're doing these amazing things. But halfway through, it revealed that they'd sold an app for $54 million. And, as it says here, where they're not touching that money, but obviously having it there makes a really big difference, because I would live my life very differently if I had millions of dollars in a safety net. Like they said, it does provide peace of mind. And if you look at this list, this is the number one result in Google, and it is so vague, and most of the ideas won't even make you enough for accommodation. Like, who are you going to sell your photos to? Like, what are you going to make to sell that you can carry the stuff around for and actually make that people are going to buy? Like, you're going to make friendship bracelets and make $1,000 a week? I'd probably not. So yeah, like the list is just clickbait, and it's not going to help you start a successful or sustainable business. So the type of online business I recommend is one where you turn your knowledge and experience into some digital products or online events. So I had digital courses that people could buy and they could go through without any ongoing work or involvement from me. I ran the summit every year. Around 10% of my income was affiliate income, which meant that I got a percentage for referring sales to other people's products. So that can be stuff like homeschooling curriculum. Other people make printables, they do coaching, they take sponsorships for their podcasts, they write paid blog posts, they have advertising on the site, like my tie-dye site. They write ebooks. There are a huge range of things that you can do online. But realistically, the best money and the most reliable business involves having your own products, because you get higher profits, you have full control, and you also have the flexibility to change them to suit people's changing needs, or to have a break when you need to. You can just turn it off. All right, so on to the practicality. So I'm going to go through my absolute must-haves for any travel suitable business. And these are the things I think you should build into your business from the very start, or start working towards if you have already started and you don't have them. So the first is your own platform. So this is a must-have for any business, and that's you have to own your platform. Because I think we probably all know people who were just nailing social media. They had tens of thousands of followers, and then they lost it all overnight. So maybe Instagram deleted their account, or their Facebook got hacked, and everything they had created vanished instantly. So you are going to avoid that by owning your core assets, which means having your own website and your own email list. And realistically, if you want to go bare bones, you just need the email list and a way to get people onto it. So you need a list of people who have given you permission to contact them and who are interested in what you're talking about. And in my experience and that of many other business owners, the email list is the one that makes the money. So I would do experiments where I put up a post on Facebook about a launch or a sale, and I'd make $50 from my 10,000 or more followers. And yet I could email my list of 8,500 people and make $1,000 or more from that same offer. So realistically, put your time into your email list and site. I do have recommendations in the workbook with the software that I use. Most of it is free to start. And you'd probably be glad to hear this, but social media is totally optional. So I did just fine without worrying about making reels or the latest algorithm change or responding to 50 DMs a day. That sort of stuff sounds absolutely horrific to me, because I'm all about making it easy and automated and doing the sort of work once that pays me for years to come. So, I did have a really active and successful Instagram account, but it wasn't turning into website traffic or signups or people buying stuff for me. So I closed it and I did more email and I got better results. So yeah, you don't have to have selfies of yourself up every day. It's great. I don't have any business at all, any social media at all for business in your backpack. So passive income. This may be the most misunderstood term in internet business land. Passive income is very possible. As I said, I haven't done anything to my Dye website for 2.5 years, I think, and yet it's still making money every month. But it does take a bit of work up front, and it does require some ongoing work. So it's not actually passive. But it does mean that your income isn't tied to your work hours. So you can create something once and you can sell it hundreds or thousands of times, or even hundreds of thousands of times. So this is where the digital products come in. So if you have a course or an ebook or a recorded workshop or a printable that people will pay for and that they can find and buy without you being directly involved in the process, then you have passive income. And this is what most of my homeschooling business income was based on. So this is a basic example of a passive path on the slide that worked beautifully for me for years. So there's meant to be some arrows in those spaces there. They haven't translated over to the PDF, unfortunately. So SEO there means search engine optimization, which means people searching for your topic find your site. So in my case, it was most terms to do with homeschooling in Australia. So they search for that topic, they reach your site, and you have a helpful article. So mine was a complete guide that walked you through how to start, how to register, and answer the common questions. And that article has a relevant free resource advertised on it. So for me, that was a PDF of the guide with extra resources and a discount. When they sign up for the free resources, they get an automated email sequence. So mine was 3 emails across 5 days, and it had the free resource, obviously, in the first one, and a few extra tips, but also talked about the paid product. So the emails upsold people to the paid product, which here was a heavily discounted limited time bundle of a couple of Australian homeschooling summits. So that's all. You're not involved at all. Once you've set that up, it will run without you. You don't have to manually do any of it. And I made sales of this bundle and other stuff like it pretty much every day. So I had other products set up in a similar way. And so it's a fairly rare day that I didn't actually sell something. And I know people in business who are on 1,000-day plus streaks of selling something every single day. So the next essential is to have a clear niche or topic and audience. And this is what I find people struggle with the most. So they either don't want to narrow their audience or they don't want to only talk about one topic, which is a really common problem for people like me who are interested in lots of different things. Like I have so many hobbies. It is really hard just to pick one thing and go, right, this is going to be my business. So I did this at the start with my homeschooling business, and I wanted to talk to all homeschoolers and everywhere about all types of homeschooling. But it was only once I narrowed down to Australian homeschoolers that my business really started to take off. So even though I appealed to fewer people overall, they instantly knew that my stuff would suit them perfectly. And it's the same now. Like, I'm here saying, travelers, guess what? Traveling families, I can teach you to make money online so you can travel. Like, I'm not trying to teach everyone in the world. So I can talk specifically about the challenges and needs of people who are traveling with their children, which means that my advice suits you perfectly. So, when I talk about dodgy Wi-Fi or juggling time zones or how to get stuff done in a tiny apartment with children bouncing around, then you know that I'm talking exactly to you. And I'm also talking specifically about digital products that are as passive and evergreen as possible. So I'm not talking about all forms of online income. I'm not going to teach you how to be an amazing coach or, how to do perfect SEO so that you get lots of media via advertising. It's digital products. And I'm all about making business as simple and easy as possible. So you do really need to define who you're talking to and what you're talking to them about so that people who fit that criteria, when they find you, they feel like you're exactly what they need. So no one wants to see wishy-washy statements like, I help women thrive. Like, it means nothing, it attracts nobody, and therefore it makes you no money. So as I mentioned, I have a free course that walks you through this. The links are in the workbook and in the freebie guide for the summit. So please sign up for that so that you can find your perfect business topic. So some examples for this, like if you're thinking of writing a travel blog, don't just do a general one, write a large family RV blog. And better yet with that, you can start with one country or area and expand from there. If you want to cover running, like do running your first 5K for women to start with. So, once you've covered that topic really thoroughly, you can expand into doing different distances or trail running, etc., so that it turns into a general running for women site, but just start off with that one specific group of people. If you're interested in interior design, just do tiny house design or, Airbnb design or something like that. And if you're into homesteading, don't try to do all the things all at once. Maybe just start a site about backyard chooks. And again, if you choose a name that reflects it, if once you cover the chooks really, really well and you've thoroughly done that, then you can add on your goats, your garden, whatever else you have. So even my tie-dye site, it was too broad to begin with. So I should have started with something really specific, like just ice dyeing, and covered that really, really thoroughly, and then expanded to include other methods. It would have grown much quicker if I had done that. So remember that, start narrow. You can always expand later. You are not trapping yourself with a tiny topic. But to start with, for your initial content and product, it needs to be very targeted because you are only one person and you have limited time and energy, and you also want to grow quickly. You can't do that if you're trying to be everything to everyone. All right, so offline time is something to think about because I really like being able to take breaks. And even if you thrive on being wanted and needed and responding to everything immediately at the start of your business, it will wear thin and you will start to resent it intruding into every area of your life. So you need to be able to switch off, and you can build that into an online business. So I took a lot of care to build this into my businesses, and that was both in expectations and in minimizing problems. So for expectations, everyone knows in my business, Sunday is a day off. I don't look at screens on Sunday. So if you run into a problem on Sunday, you wait until Monday for me to fix it. And in the last 8 years, this happens maybe 5 times, and not one of those 5 people cared. No one was grumpy at me for it, and I've had over 400 Sundays where I could totally ignore my emails. So that's a pretty good swap for me. Minimizing problems is another strategy that works. So that means that if someone has a problem, then I work out how to fix that for everyone. So if someone can't find the customer hub to change their email, I will add the link to the automated welcome email and to the base of the account emails, so no one ever needs to ask me about it again. And my focus on this meant that in 2022, we could spend 6 weeks doing the Bibbulmun track. So that's a 1,006 kilometer through hike. We did it with our 2 sons, and I only had 1 to 2 customer service emails a week, which I did on my phone. I didn't have a computer or anything like that. And so I could go multiple days without phone reception, and we could have breakfast in spectacular places like this without thinking about work. And yet we finished this hike with more money in the bank than we started with, because the passive income was set up and people could find my site and buy stuff and use it, all without any assistance from me. And obviously you can outsourced stuff like customer service and other more basic tasks to free up time. I haven't, because I'm not a very good manager of people, but most people do. And it is probably a good idea, really. All right, so now you know the stuff that you should build in. I'm going to go through a few things you should avoid as much as possible. Do we have any questions before I keep going? I can't see any in StreamYard.
No, I can't see any.
All right, so things to avoid. The first is long set hours. So lots of people go traveling by taking their work remotely. And if it's your only option, then I suppose it will have to do. But if you are required to spend long hours at your computer or go to regular virtual meetings, or you have other big restrictions on your time, it will get annoying. So there will be festivals and events that you will miss, and the rest of the family will be out doing fun stuff while you are stuck in front of your computer. And you'll be more worried about getting a place with good Wi-Fi than getting one that's well located or historical or has other great features like an awesome pool. So basically, work will come first in lots of ways, rather than the travel and experiences and family time coming first. So if you can create some passive income or minimize the set hours to a couple of days a week, or build in flexibility in other ways, it is very worth it. A lot of people who start off doing coaching and consulting fall into this trap as well, where they end up having lots of hours where they have to be there, doing Zoom calls or one-on-ones with clients. There are definitely ways around this. You can, if you're building it yourself, you can set up ways where you don't need to be there. So if you're interested in that, just ask me about it. I'll talk more about it later. The second is tying money to your hours. So that is stuff like charging by the hour for coaching or consulting. It might be charging by the job as well. So say, you're a website designer, you charge a certain amount to create a website, or, you're an Instagram VA and you promise a certain amount of content every week for a price. So unless you're really, really good at this and you're able to charge quite high hourly rates, it is pretty easy to get stuck on the treadmill of spending long hours at your computer. But the good news is, if you do something like this, you can probably make a product from it as well. So, you'll find out that your coaching clients have common problems. So then you can make a course or a workshop or something like that and sell it as a digital product. And then you can reserve your one-on-one time for the really unique problems. And it's even things like, if you're great at making printables, you don't have to just make them for people. You can teach others to make them. So there's this course here, and the family that run this site spend a couple of months a year traveling with their 3 children. Because realistically, it's awesome. If a client comes to you and says, I have this problem, can you help me? And you can say, well, actually, I have a course that will walk you through that. And then they went and bought it, and you now have $300. And you didn't actually have to put in the one-to-one work for it. It's just like magic to me. So if you can look at what you do and work out how you can turn it into a process that other people can follow, then you can start to untie your money from your hours and you'll create some more passive income streams. One of my pet not to do things are MLMs. So they're multi-level marketing schemes, and that's where you sell stuff for a company and receive a commission. So they can sound really amazing. They've worked a lot on their marketing, but realistically, for most people, they are a waste of time. So the FTC in the USA says that 99.6% of people who enroll in an MLM lose money. And that means that only 0.4% of people actually break even or make money from an MLM. So I say that joining one and expecting success, it's a bit like waking up one day and saying, hey, I'm going to earn a really good income by becoming a professional tennis player. I'm going to be the next Roger Federer. And maybe you could do it, but the odds are overwhelmingly against you. Now, because the term MLM has such a bad rep now, people are using terms like high-ticket affiliate marketing or brand ambassador or network marketing, but it is exactly the same thing. Someone enrolls you in the company, they make it appear to be really easy and too good to be true. You're expected to sell really, really overpriced products and use sales scripts, which can be spotted from a mile away when you know what you're looking for. So please don't get sucked into one of these. They do sound really good, but odds are that you won't even make your initial investment back. And all you'll have left is a cupboard full of skincare or essential oils or a really expensive water filter that cost you a small fortune. So you are far better off spending time learning how to create and market your own products, because that's where the flexibility is. Not just being a salesperson who doesn't even get paid for another company. It's amazing when you look at it for an MLM. Most sales companies, you'll get paid a wage and then you get paid bonuses. They don't even do that. You only get commission. So yeah, sadly, stuff like this is what you see in travel groups everywhere. So someone goes on innocently and says, "Hey, what do you guys all do to fund your travel?" And a whole group of MLM vultures descends saying, "I do high ticket affiliate marketing. It's so amazing. All I do is post on social media like I would anyway. And now I get to travel the world and make money in my sleep. PM me the details." The scripts pretty much all go like that. Once you know what you're looking for, you can spot it from a mile away. So don't be fooled by that. They need to enroll you. They need to get you to buy into the company because then they get commissions from you. So if someone cannot tell you plainly and upfront exactly what they do, then run away. And if you need to join groups and watch masterclasses and you're still not exactly sure what you actually have to be doing to reach those supposed 6-figure months and amazing lifestyles that they're promising, then run away. If someone can't tell you upfront what you need to do, then there's something suspect. All right. So I'm going to finish my rant now. I'm sure it's really obvious that MLMs annoy me, but it's like in a car crash kind of way. I can't look away from them. So the other thing I advise you to avoid is relying on one income stream. And lots of people have been caught out by this over the years. So typically they will find an affiliate product that they can sell. They'll go all out on doing it and then something changes. So I've had companies cancel their affiliate program suddenly. So if I'd relied on that income, if it was my main source, I would have lost it in a month and there would be absolutely nothing I could do about it. And it's the same if you rely just on display advertising. So a Google update can halve your traffic, and that means it will have your income. And this has become more and more common lately. So a lot of people are looking at the traditional sort of model of search engine optimization, sending people to your site where they'll see ads, and it's all falling apart for them because not as many people are using Google. And Google's got its AI giving people answers, so people aren't clicking through to sites. So I know people who used to make a hell of a lot of money doing this who are now making like $500 a month. So, and it's the same, if you rely on one course. So if it becomes irrelevant for some reason, like heaps of people got into teaching Periscope. Do you remember Periscope? I never used it, so I barely remember it. But yeah, lots of people had businesses based around that, and then it shut down. So that means you're out of luck. So it's a good idea to try to create a few things. So that means your own products, mix it up with some affiliate income, and yeah, just mix it up a bit so that if one thing absolutely tanks, you're not going to be broke. So this is a really good example here, and that's in 2020, Amazon slashed their affiliate percentages. So even though they were making huge products from COVID, they just went, nah, we're not paying so much anymore. We don't need to rely on you guys anymore. And people who had Amazon affiliate sites and shopping deal sites, because they used to be a really big thing, like people would just build Amazon affiliate sites for, say, golf gear, and they just do review after review of golf gear and link to Amazon and make lots of money like that. And all of those people had their income drop overnight, and it was often by more than 50%. And Amazon didn't care. Like they didn't care about looking after all those people who had helped drive all that traffic and build their brand in the first place. They just wanted more profit. And this was a really easy way for them to get it. So for my tie-dye site, I use Amazon affiliate links, and I do get paid every month for those. I was also aiming for YouTube monetization. Not going to get there unless I put in some more effort. And I've got Mediavine display ads. And the reason I was going for those three things is because I know from my 9 years of experience online, and especially going through COVID, that things can change very suddenly. All right. So as you go, you can take on work as you go. Like I'm a nurse, I can nurse in many places. Other people work in hospitality or trades or whatever they can get. And this can be a really good way to experience an area and meet the locals, but I would still advise having another source of income. So, that way, if you get sick or if you want a break or if you want to go somewhere where you can't earn much or you can't get a working visa, then you'll still have an income. Like a lot of people can't get working visas over about 30 or so. And for nursing, I really need to be able to speak to people. So, I talked about working for a hospital that had places in France. I'm like, would you send me to France to work? And they're like, no, because you'll be useless because you don't speak French. Like, oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. So yeah, like even if you've got a good career, it doesn't always translate into being able to do it anywhere. And yeah, so if you still want the friendships and the cultural connections, you can do things like workaways, and that's where you typically get food and board in exchange for a couple of hours work a day. And that can be anything from like farming and wildlife rehab to helping people with renovating, babysitting, teaching English are really common. And that means that you can really focus on the cultural experience and friendships rather than the money side. And you can meet really interesting people that way. All right, can I please have my slides off again now? Yeah, so that's pretty much, there are all the features that I recommend, the features that I deem essential, and also the features I think you should try to avoid at all costs. So, there's still so much you can do within those parameters, but it may be hard to picture it. So I have some real life success stories, both on my website and in the workbook. So I found lots of people doing quirky and interesting things and making lots of money from stuff like succulents. Like, if you can make money from succulents, and this person makes a lot of money from succulents, then you can make money from pretty much everything.
What do you mean they make money from succulents? Sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry, what was that?
What do you mean they make money from succulents? Talk to me.
It was just like, how that trend was a few years ago, everyone got right into succulents. So they started a website about it, and it's affiliate links. I think they have some small courses. They have some ebooks that they sell. So they got reviewed on a business podcast, and they make over $100,000 a year from their website about succulents.
Amazing. Gotta love all these interesting things.
Yeah. So there was a lady a few years ago that I really liked, and she was a goat keeper. So I have goats, and I had goats in. And she's like, man, everyone's always asking about goats and copper. So she put up a free resource about how to tell if your goats need copper supplements and all that. She got like 7,000 signups in a month. So, it doesn't all have to be, a lot of people go, oh, you have to niche business where you have to do this to make money. But like, you can do pretty much everything. There are people out there doing really, really quirky, interesting stuff, because like, we've got the whole world as our audience. If you can get 1,000, 2,000 people interested in what you're doing, like, there you go. That's your income. You got like 1,000 people who will pay you $100 a year for something across that entire year, then that's it. Like, you've got a great wage. So yeah, I love finding them all.
So good.
All right. So we got any questions? I'm not sure if I'm logged into the chat properly. Keeps telling me I need to join
There's
YouTube.
not. Oh, is there? I'm not checking YouTube, but I've been checking the other places.
Okay.
Yes and no, we don't. We've had people popping in and out and liking, but no questions.
Okay. Yeah, everyone's having dinner.
Yeah. Well, they're like fully asleep on the other side of the world, and they'll catch it in the morning.
Yes. That's the thing with being Australian, isn't it?
Yes.
We're opposite of everyone else.
Yeah, and the email will go out with the links straight after this. So
okay.
Is there more on your slide deck, or?
Nope. That's all for the slide deck, I think.
Amazing.
Yeah, I just had a what next slide. So yeah, it just says, don't forget, I've got the workbook. It's got all those resources. So it's got, like I said, the real life examples. It's got how to build an online business quickly. Like, I have lots and lots of freebies, and that business ID blitz course. I've had lots of people email and go, why is this free? Like, this is better than stuff that I've paid for. So feel free just to go through, use all my free stuff, go listen to the podcast, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully that helps you build an online business that lets you do more of what you want to do. Like for us earlier this year, that was like eating my body weight in pastries in Greece. So I did that really enthusiastically for a few months. Luckily, we were over there to like, we do a lot of running on our travels as well. So it kind of balances out the eating.
Maybe for you. Doesn't balance out so much for me. What did you do in Greece?
Yeah, well, we were doing a running event every 2 weeks in Italy and Greece. It was like either a half marathon or like a long trail run with a heap of elevation. Doing all these hikes and stuff as well. So yeah, like we went out one day and we ran up and over Mount Vesuvius. So it was like 27 Ks. That was an awesome day. And then we finished off with a full marathon. So yeah, like we were just go the whole time. So that was pretty full on 4 months over in Europe, but yeah, heaps of fun. Like anything you can do, like running events, whatever you're into overseas. Even if you're not into running, like go do the 2K bit at a running event. They've got a great vibe.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. Fun way to meet the locals or volunteer. That'll be heaps fun.
At the running one.
Yeah. Anything weird like that you can find. Any everyday activities. I love doing them.
Yeah, we woke up on Sunday. There was a triathlon in our town, and we're on a main road. And I literally got up, and right in front of my house is the bikes all turning around on the road, and we're like, "Oh, hi everyone!" Like,
and then you sit there feeling unfit and inadequate.
Yeah, I don't know. Those things are not my style. Give me Pilates any day. Anyway,
yeah, that's it.
So tell me again, what is the website? Where can people find all of that?
Businessinyourbackpack.com.
Perfect. All right. Just wanted to make sure we had that there in case people were searching for links and things, but it'll be under the link. I'll copy and paste it right now.
All right.
Thank you, Kelly.
No,
I'm so glad that you're still sharing your knowledge with everyone, and your style's so. I love that you're so refreshingly honest and just like this is how it is. Well, like you were saying, there's a lot of different voices in the space, especially when it comes to online business, and lots of people talking about things they haven't done, and lots of people trying to glow up things that are actually really bloody hard. And so thank you for your honest voice in the space and helping people do this. Like me, I'm really passionate about helping people live the life they want to, not the conventional path that we were kind of taught growing up. And so cheering you on, let me know how I can support you. And when you're ready in Jan, come back here and into the group and let us know what you're doing so we can check it out.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It's great event to have for people. I'd love it if more people can get out there and do, some of the fun stuff that we've been able to do. It is really good.
It's the best education, right? Just even if you with no formal education, it's just going out there and experiencing the world. Like for me, we live
and my older kids say that now.
Yeah.
And well, I grew up pretty rough. Like, if you're from Melbourne, I tell you, I was born in Frankston. Like, generally, that's as much as most people need to know to sort of know how I grew up. But so it's been really good to be able to do all this stuff for my kids that I never even thought that I could do. And my kids have sort of taken it for granted. But now that my daughters are adults, they'll often, I think they've got more of a perspective on it, and they'll come back and say, people don't really believe me when I go, I've been here and I've done this and all this kind of stuff. And people are like, you're like 19. When have you had a chance to do these things? So it is good.
So good that we're changing what the world will be for them and their kids. Like, isn't that so cool? Like, it was so outlandish for us, and now it's going to become more and more norm, I hope. And anyway, thank you again for being so generous with your time, for meeting me at dinner time. And I'll connect with you later during the summit.
All right. Sounds awesome. Thank you. Thank you again for having me. And thanks everyone.
In the comments. Don't be shy in the comments. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'll drop back in. I'll check. So ask me whatever you want.
Perfect. And the email will go out. So hopefully that'll spark some connection.
Beautiful.
We're here to talk to you as well. Bye, everyone.
All right. See ya.